Hey guys, and welcome to Interviews with PokeTubers. In this series, I'll be interviewing prominent YouTubers who, in some part, focus on Pokemon. This episode, we have the man who popularized roulette free-for-alls. He's a British gent and a goat. It's DuncanKneeDeep.
Hey, what's good?
All right. So, for the first question I have for you today, Duncan, for many of those who have watched your content for any period of time, they know that Rhydon is your favorite Pokemon. But why is that?
Yeah. So I like Rhydon for a couple of reasons. One, it was the MVP in my original playthrough of Red. When I first got the game, I loved the Safari Zone because it was like a unique way to catch Pokemon. And I was playing through Red and Blue alongside my cousin. So we were literally both visiting my grandma when they came out. We were both at her house. We played basically 20 hours a day, and we were battling each other constantly while then playing through the game. And we had a game where if you won the battle, you got to trade Pokemon and steal one of the other person. So I lost my Charizard really early, and then I went to the Safari Zone and I was low on Pokemon, and I got a Rhyhorn, evolved it into a Rhydon, ended up beating my cousin and getting my Charizard back, and then refusing to battle him with the game anymore because we had this game where we were stealing Pokemon each other. And I ended up playing through the game, and Rhydon was my MVP. He finished the game for me. He got me through the Elite Four. So really love him for that reason. And then found out later on, I was a few years later, that the very first Pokemon they designed was Rhydon, and that's why all the statues in the game are of Rhydon.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was a super cool fact. So the fact that he's the original Pokemon, and the fact that he was the MVP in my original Pokemon Red playthrough.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, if you had a chance, who would you give your silver and bronze medal to?
Ooh. Well, I have something. I've got a soft spot for Magnezone. I actually prefer Magneton design-wise. But like Magnezone I built my first big competitive team because I didn't start competitive until X and Y, believe it or not. And I built my first competitive singles team that I built myself. I built it around Scarf Magnezone. So I've got a real soft spot for Magnezone because of that. And then Nidoking because it's Poison Rhydon. And I know that's a really bad reason, but it's just big Poison Rhydon. So
I mean, he's the king.
Nidoking.
So
yeah.
I remember the Sparkle quiz about the mascots for PokeTubers and how they had labeled you with a Magnezone.
Yeah, because for a while I had an emote on Twitch of the Magnezone with the tie and the tie and the gun. Because he was a secret agent. Because every time I made a team, I used a different version of Magnezone, and they couldn't work out which one it was.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I remember there was one video that you like went on like a little mini rant about how Magnezone wasn't your favorite, and now people always thought that.
Yeah, definitely. It was something that I tried to push away from, which is a shame because I do like the Pokemon.
Yeah.
He's just not my favorite.
Yeah, all right. So on the flip side of that question, is there a Pokemon you like to see removed from the franchise, and why is it Vanillux or all the horse Pokemon?
I actually don't want any Pokemon removed from the franchise. I think they're there now, and it's a thing now, and I can say that I don't like Vanillux's design all I want, but if they said, yeah, shall we delete Vanillux from the next game, I'd say no, because I think it's always good to have your mistakes in the rearview mirror, kind of. They've designed really, really good Pokemon, I think, for Gen 7. I like them a lot. I like the Alolan forms of a lot of Pokemon. I think Executor's a bit silly, but the rest of them are pretty cool.
I think my favorite thing that the internet has done with it was when Reddit made the post where you just make his neck go on and on forever.
Yeah. That was a good post. It was. And like all the memes around it are great. But yeah, I don't think I'd remove any Pokemon from the game.
Okay.
I don't think I would.
So, who's your favorite YouTuber to watch, whether it be in the Pokemon community or just at large?
My favorite YouTuber is Philip DeFranco. I think he's the only news that I watch every single day. Now, I do check my sources, so if he says something and I'm not quite sure whether it's accurate or something, I'll go and check the source. But he's my daily news intake. He's entertaining. He's got lots of different variety in what he does in Today in Awesome. So sometimes I discover something new, or sometimes he features something that I already like, and then I'm happy that he's featured it. And he's an amazing businessman. Like, as a YouTuber, I respect the way that he's built his channel around sponsorships and spot deals so that ad revenue really doesn't matter that much to him, and merchandise is a big part of his business. So he's an impressive businessman, and he produces amazing content, and I think that's why I'm a member of the DeFranco Nation.
Nice. Yeah, I watch him too, so I really appreciate his point of view.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's the other thing about him, actually, talking about point of view. He's like respectful of everybody's point of view, and he will give his opinion, and he will give the facts, and he will give them separately. So the facts, when he gives them, aren't colored by his opinion. He presents the facts as they are, and then his opinion afterwards. So you can form your own opinion. And if you disagree, you disagree, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I like that.
Or at least he tries to keep it separate.
He tries his best. Like, he's human, right?
Yeah.
There have been a few times where he hasn't, but it's the format of his show is that he keeps them separate.
Yeah, I really appreciate that about him too.
Yeah.
All right. So next question is, what does the Pokemon community mean to you, and where do you see it today, and where would you like to see in the future?
I think the thing about the Pokemon community, there are two communities, aren't there? There's the creators, the Pokemon creators community, and then there's like the VGC and the fan community. And I think the VGC and the fan community is fantastic. And I wish the creators community, like a lot of creators in the community, would look to the fan community and be like, this is what we need to be more like, more supportive, more inclusive, more positive in general. I find a lot of creators, and I get it because I've done it too, sort of towards the negative side of things, complaining about things, very critical, very competitive, and sort of there's a lot of like subtweeting that goes on, which I really don't like, and things like that. And I think that all I would want is for the two communities to sort of come together, and the creator community to sort of emulate the positivity of the VGC and the fan community, because I'm a friend of a lot of the people in the VGC and the fan community, and while they do have their problems, they're few and far between, and I love that community.
Excellent. All right. So a triple threat question for you. What is your favorite route, music, and character from Pokemon?
Okay, I don't have a favorite music. I think Pokemon music, what I love about it is that it changes everywhere you go and that it fits the theme of where you're going. I think Pokemon has some of the best composing in video games, close to Final Fantasy before 10 and close to Zelda. When it comes to just sheer composition, I really like Pokemon's composition. So I'm not going to choose a favorite music because I think that's too difficult. Favorite route? Can I choose the Safari Zone from Pokemon Red? Is that allowed? Okay, cool. It's the Safari Zone for Pokemon Red, because when I got there, that was so cool. Once again, I love the fact that it's completely different in the way that you catch Pokemon. I know it frustrated a lot of people. I liked it. And characters, that's a tricky one. I think I'm going to have to go with Blue. I like Blue in the original Pokemon Red and Blue. He's just such a jerk for no reason. That resonates with me.
You gotta wonder what caused him to be such a jerk as he was growing up.
Right, but at the same time, he's sort of a down-to-earth jerk. He says exactly what he wants and what he's thinking. And that's kind of the way I live my life, is I say exactly what I want and what I'm thinking. So even though I don't agree with what he says, I like the way he says it. I like the reasons that he has for saying it. So yeah, I'm a fan of Blue.
Nice. Kind of going back to the Safari Zone, what did you think of the kind of revamped version in Sinnoh?
Oh, what would that have been?
It's the Great Marsh.
I don't remember it. I've got to be completely honest. I don't remember it.
That's
so
fine.
It's not
pretty much it was like Sinnoh's Safari Zone, where there was like monorails and there was bait.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I remember it now. I wasn't a fan. Yeah, I didn't think much of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, is there an animal or object you like to see made into a Pokemon?
I was really hoping Rotom Dex would be an actual Pokemon that you could use, but that's a form, so I guess that's not fair.
What type would you want Rotom Dex to be?
Oh, yeah, I was thinking that could actually just be a flat-out steel electric type.
Electric steel?
Electric steel could have worked. I would have liked that. An electric steel levitator, that's a good one. Yeah. Right? It's a good typing. I like it.
Just gotta watch out for Excadrill.
Yeah, the Mold Breaker, but that's every Rotom watches out for Excadrill, right? Like, they're all scared of Mold Breaker Excadrill. So that's nothing new.
Other than Rotom Dex, is there anything that you'd be interested in seeing?
Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't come back to it because I'm stuck. I don't know. They've made everything, haven't they? Like, you can't mention. Oh, you know what? A rock dassie. Let's go super obscure. Let's go with a rock dassie. It's a South African animal. It's the closest living relative to an elephant, except it's only, as big as it's only about 2 feet long, and it's a hamster, basically a giant hamster, but it's actually genetically incredibly close to elephants. I love them.
That's pretty cool. See, the one Pokemon that I'm really annoyed they don't have a good Pokemon of is a dolphin.
Oh, that's true. There is no great dolphin.
Tapu Fini is the closest, but it's more of like a swordfish kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's even then, it's like, it's a tapu. It's like got the motif, but it's, inside it's like the humanoid tapu.
Yeah. So it really like annoys me that there's no dolphin Pokemon, even though there are specific species of dolphins like native to Hawaii, for instance.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I agree with you. I think a dolphin Pokemon would be great.
I feel like it would just be like super marketable as well.
Yeah. Yeah, people like dolphins.
All right. So I think this will be a pretty decisive question. What is your favorite and what game do you think is the best, whether this be a core game or side game?
My favorite Pokemon game is Pokemon Red because that's where I started and I was 7 years old. So game had just come out, 7 years old, convinced my granddad to buy it for me. My favorite Pokemon game because I had the most fun with Pokemon Red and I don't think I could ever get back to that so that's nostalgia goggles.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sun and Moon is a fantastically designed game. So I think Sun and Moon, it pushes boundaries and it changes a lot. I think Sun and Moon could be the best Pokemon game, like objectively, but nostalgia glasses kick in and it's Pokemon Red for me.
Yeah. That's why I kind of want to do the favorite / what you think is the best. Because for a lot of people, their favorite game is most likely going to be their first. Like the first games that I had was Pokemon Ruby. So I always have a sweet spot for Hoenn, for instance.
Yeah. Whereas I despise Hoenn.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's very interesting with the like too much water thing because that only happens after you complete the 6th gym.
Yeah, I get that. I didn't enjoy the story, and like I guess when Hoenn came out when I was a kid, I was sort of, I don't know. It didn't do it for me. I preferred the Fire Red, Leaf Green remakes that generation to the actual. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone has their favorites.
Yeah, of course.
All right. So next up, why do you think Pokemon has stayed with you for so many years, both as a person and as a content creator?
Well, it didn't. Pokemon didn't stay with me. I never played Gen 5. I played very, very little of Gen 4. I got to Gen 3 and then other things took over, school and then school and university took over. I didn't play Gen 4 or 5. I played most of Gen 3. I did play Gen 3 quite heavily, but no Gen 4 or 5. Then Gen 6 came out and I only bought it on a whim. I was walking past a shop and it was like, it came out today. And I was like, well, I used to like Pokemon. And so I started playing it. And then I fell into Shofu's stream. Shofu was asking if anybody had an Aegislash. I had a Honedge with perfect IVs. I traded it to him. He wanted to know how I got it, so he added me to his call, and everything else just sort of happened. I've always enjoyed Pokemon when I've played it, but I didn't play Gens 4 or 5 basically at all. So I can't say I've stuck with Pokemon. I don't try and pretend I've been a giant Pokemon fan my entire life because I was when I was a kid. But yeah, it fell off for me. And when I was at uni, the only games I played were Monster Hunter and Zelda. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Next up, as someone who's made free-for-alls very popular and having the Pokemon company try to implement a similar mode, what inspired you to make free-for-alls and roulettes?
Well, free-for-alls, I made them by accident. So it's not an official game mode, or it wasn't. And I was playing X and Y, and 3 people were left on my battle queue on stream. And I was too tired to do 3 more single battles. So I was like, how about we do a versus battle, like 2v2, and we do one of the, what are they called? They're called multi-battles or multi-battles. But it was just, I should know this, multi-battle league. So I was like, let's just do a 2v2. But none of them wanted to be on my side. They wanted to be against me. So I was like, well, you can attack the person next to you. So let's do a 3v1. And then they said, well, that would be too easy. So I was like, how about everybody just attacks everybody and last man standing wins? And that's how free-for-alls came to be. And then that did really well on the stream, and Shofu was in my call with me when I was setting all this up. So he said that that was a great idea. We should do it for YouTube. And we did one on his channel and one on my channel. And the first one that went up was on the same day. And then we just kept doing them and just kept having fun. And then Roulette came about because we wanted to do a random free-for-all, like a random Mons free-for-all where we use random Pokemon. And we started by just saying, let's just give someone a number from the Pokemon from the box, and then they fill a box with Pokemon, and we give them each person picks a number, and then you use the 3 Pokemon that were the other 3 people's number. And that worked for a little while, but then people started stacking their boxes with ridiculously powerful Pokemon.
Yeah.
So then we moved on to the current form of using a random, well, it went to a random number generator, and now it's to the custom randomizing app. But yeah, Roulette's, again, it just happened because we had an idea on a stream one time.
That's really cool. All right. So this will be our last question. Have you ever heard of Mary F. Kill?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I have.
So instead, we're going to do follow PC Faint. So this means that you'll pick one Pokemon which you would catch and have you follow, like have follow you Heart Gold, Soul Silver style. One you'd catch but leave in the PC, and one you wouldn't even bother catching. So I'm going to randomize the Pokemon and let you know what your choices are.
Cool.
Right, so we have Gumshoes, Gorbis, and Stuffle.
Gorbis. Okay, so definitely the Stuffle follow.
Okay.
Because I feel like a bear that can crush things with its arms, like a super strong bear, but looks like a super cute teddy. I could use that to my advantage. Like,
they wouldn't expect
nobody's gonna lock you out of like an event or a place. Like if you want to walk into a place or a restaurant or something, if you've got a sentient teddy bear following you, they're not going to shut you out. But if you've got like a floating fish thing, and Gorbis is definitely not being my follow because it would just sort of flop around on the ground. It's a water Pokemon. Like, I don't want some fish flopping around following me. And I've forgotten the first one.
Gumshoes.
Yeah, Gumshoes looks too angry. Like people would ban ferrets from places, but people aren't going to ban a living teddy bear. I just don't see people banning that from being in a place. And then it's actually really strong and dangerous. So it's like I get mugged. My living teddy bear jumps on them and crushes their spine. Fantastic. You know? Yeah. Gumshoes I would catch because it's a cool guy. And I don't want the fish. I faint the fish.
Very not speedy fish.
Oh, come on. One time I say Gorbis was fast. I'm never going to live that down. It's a very fast fish.
Yes, very fast. All right. So that's going to wrap up our first episode of Interviews with PokeTubers. I want to thank Duncan for taking time out of his day to have this interview with me.
No worries. Thank you for being so flexible with the scheduling.
No worries. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay super fantastic. Bye.
Bye.